Hello, my friends. I am really excited to share these products with you today because, as you know, I'm re-releasing my designs that I designed with the other company that I'm bringing now under our brand, which is really exciting because we can control inventory, we can just control a lot more about it. And these designs have been so incredibly popular, we knew we had to bring them back as soon as possible. Now, what am I talking about, right? I am talking about the dotted items that I brought out. So here we have the rectangles, here we have the hearts, here we have the stars, and here we have the circles. Now they are perfectly nested shapes, so you get to mix and match and you get to add and do different things with them, and they're so much fun. Now, what do I mean by dotted? Well, let me share with you. Here's a frame that I cut out earlier, and I just ran this through my machine really fast. Not all of them got cut out yet, but you'll see that they have all those cute little dots. Now, when you run it through, I ran it through with 2, so that's why I have the frame. If I were to run it through just 1, let me show you because I want you to really understand all of this. When you run it through just 1, and I'm going to show you how to make a shaker card in just a minute, so stay tuned. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm just going to run this through my machine. They will work in any standard die cut machine. Now, I like to run them through twice. Why is that? Well, I just run it once, then run it back. Because all those little dots, you don't want to have to get your paper piercer out and poke all of those little dots out. Now, look at that. I just give it a flick, and every single dot is completely cut out. Perfect, right? So we're going to make a shaker card. Now, if I wanted to make a frame like this, same dies, watch this. I'm going to take 2 nesting dies. Oh, let's clean it a little. And we're just going to clean it like that. We are going to take the same piece of colored paper. I'm going to lay, let's make sure you can see this. I'm going to lay one down first. That's the larger one. Then I'm going to take the smaller one and lay it right on the inside. Now, normally my magnetic platform would hold that perfectly in place, but I want it to be perfect. And so I'm going to grab some washi tape. You know, I always have washi tape handy for these kind of situations. And I'm going to line this up just perfectly because I want my die to be exactly in this spot. Now, I'm going to actually tape the dies together and not to the paper. Why is that? Because I'm going to cut out another one of these in a little bit, and I want to make sure that it's the exact same shape. Or, you know, and I didn't move any dies. So now, of course, it's a little bit at an angle. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating a frame. I'm going to run this through. Now, some of this might be old news to you. Some of you are going, oh, I know how to do this. But it's just more fun with these cute little dots. And now what we have is we have a piece for later. And we have this gorgeous, perfectly cut frame. Now, let's make our shaker card. So we're going to give that a little hit. Now, what we're going to do, now you could do this a couple different ways. Oh, look at all that mess. Let's get a cutting pad. There we go, nice and clean. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some adhesive foam. Oh, I have some here. We're going to lay that down. Now, you could use regular rectangles for this part. You could use any nesting shapes. Any 2 dies where one fits inside the other will work for this technique, okay? So I'm gonna lay this down. Now, I'm not too sure how those little circles are gonna cut out with the foam, because this is adhesive foam that we sell on our website, but I really don't need them to cut out, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna run it through once, and what I'm focusing on is I want an adhesive foam frame, okay? So now, look at this. I'm gonna pop this out. Now remember, I just left those dies together, so they're using my washi tape. And I'm going to give this a little poke. Now, oh wow, all those circles look like they did cut out. That's amazing, isn't it? Now I'm going to pull this out because this is what I need. Now this is foam, so it has some height. Now if you're going to put large things in your shaker kit or shaker box, shaker card, you're going to want to do 2 layers. And you know what? I actually am, because I found some cute buttons. I'm going to use these cute little buttons. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab another sheet. We're going to lay this down, and I'm going to do the exact same thing again. I want 2 layers. Again, I'm going to drop my dies in a little bit at an angle because we don't want any speed bumps. And I'm just going to, again, run it through once because I don't need all those circles to cut out. And now you're gonna also notice that the foam kind of compresses when it goes through your machine. That's okay. Let it rest for a little while. After a while, it's gonna start popping back up. Imagine a sponge, you're pushing that through like the washing machine, you know, those rollers. Yeah, it's getting really compressed, but it'll pop back up. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab, actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna get tricky. I've never done it this way before, but I think it's gonna be a good idea. I peeled off the backing of just my frame. I'm going to grab my other frame that I cut out, because see, these can kind of get a little willy wonky here. So I'm gonna peel off the back of one of them, just like this. And I am going to adhere sticky to sticky, but look how it's still in the die, so now it's not, that second frame is not going anywhere. It's not getting a little wonky on me, which is kind of good. It's actually very good, not kind of. So now we're just layering that on top, layering this on top, and we're gonna, whoops, very, very sticky, but we're gonna, oh, come on. And they like to kind of move around. There we go. There we go. Okay, press, press, press. Now, we're gonna pop this out. And now it doesn't matter if those frames come apart, but now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull off the inside. Now, you can use this inside pieces, see, I have two. You can use those inside pieces for a smaller shaker if you want, or if it gets too small, like some of these pieces, like this piece right here, what am I gonna use this for? Hello, foam squares, right? Foam squares don't have to be squares. They can be strips, they can be triangles, they can be any shape you want. So you're not gonna throw any of this adhesive foam away. You're gonna use every single piece of it, because when you wanna pop something up, you're just gonna trim a piece and use it. No one cares what the back foam squares or foam triangles or whatever looks like. No one's gonna notice. So use all of those scraps, okay? So now what we're gonna do is we have our nice thick frame. I'm gonna go back to that, oh, let's clean up our desk a little bit. Now remember, this technique will work on all of these or any nesting dies you have. So now what I have is I have that back piece that I cut out originally. That was the bigger die that I've used in my frame, okay? Remember, so I cut one with just the big one pink with the frame, and I actually cut out two with the foam out of the frame. Now I'm gonna peel this all up, and I'm just gonna peel off the back of one. So this adhesive foam makes it so much easier because it has adhesive on both sides. Now we're gonna lay this down on our foundation. We're just gonna lay that down, go a little slow. Get it in there perfect, there we go, perfect, perfect, perfect. There we go. Okay, and I got a little muffed up right there, but that's okay. So now we have our frame, okay? Now, here's a tip. Because it's a little sticky on the inside right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some baby powder. And I know some of you have some fancy little things, like some companies sell these cute little pieces of baby powder. Yeah, I'm cheap, I buy the cheap stuff. So I'm just gonna run this through, actually Dina bought that for me because I'm too cheap to buy it. So I'm gonna run that through, and now I'm gonna give it an, oh, now everything smells so good. But what I have now is it's not sticky anymore, so whatever I put on the inside is not gonna stick. Now I need to cut out one more thing. We're almost done. We are going to grab a piece of acetate. Now when you cut your acetate, you want to use the biggest die again, because the window is gonna be the biggest die, and I highly recommend you always do this with a piece of cardstock. So originally when I cut out this back, I should have done this, because you always want to cut another piece of cardstock because you'll get a better cut. So I'm going to lay this down, and it's really, really dirty, but you know what? We don't need those circles in there, so it's okay. We're going to lay that down, and we're going to run this through. So I'm going to actually cut the acetate and another background, which I don't need that background, but I can save it for another time. Okay, so now I have that acetate cut. That's my little window, okay? Now it doesn't matter if all those little circles get out, because it doesn't matter. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our fun stuff. And so I have my foundation, my adhesive foam, and I've added my powder. You can clean up the powder better if you want, I don't care. And now we're gonna add our fun buttons. So I'm just gonna drop in some of those buttons and put, and you can use sequins, you can use glitter, use whatever you want. Don't get too fancy. And now these I feel like are a little too fat, a little too wide, so I think those are gonna be better. We'll use the littler ones. Cute little flowers, stars. Oh, there's a cute little pink one. So there we go. So now we have some cute little goodies in there. Save those for another project. And then we're going to get our little window. So we're going to peel off the next layer of foam, just like that. And we're going to add our window, just like that. Remember, I only used 2 dies for this entire project, just like that. Now you're going to really press here because you know what's going to happen if you don't. If you don't and you're teaching a class of 50 people, I've done it, and I lift it up and I go, look, and I shake it and I didn't close the bottom and everything fell out the bottom. It was awesome. It was hilarious. Now, ideally I would have used adhesive sheets on the back of this because this is a mess. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that right now because there's no way I'm going to try to add adhesive to the back of that. So I'm going to back up a little tiny bit. I'm going to grab some of our adhesive sheets. I'm going to peel that off. Now don't touch that, that's all sticky. And I'm going to add this to this cardstock right here. And it almost fit all the way on there. Now don't do this, but I'm just doing that. Now I know where that adhesive is because I have it right there. And I'm going to make my frame again, really quick because I should have done this with adhesive on the back. You know how it is to try to put adhesive on the back of some of these, right? And we're going to put that a little bit at an angle. Let's here. Watch this. When I need to go at an angle and I can't, I just tear my paper. Now I can go at an angle. And I'm going to get my cutting pad and I'm going to run this through. Now I have a lot of samples to share with you too as well. My design team loves these. They use them all the time. So I'm really happy to get them back in stock because they're pretty much staples. They're one of those ones that you just kind of have to have. Okay, so now what we have is we have that frame, but this time, remember I already cut one earlier, but this time it has the adhesive on the back, which is so much better. So now we're going to peel this all up, and now we're going to peel off the adhesive backing. Look at that. Whoosh, beautiful. And then, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Ken's been cleaning lately. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down. And depending on how well I lined that up, look at that. Look at that. Now, if you want a wider frame, you could use 2 other dies. You could use not the exact same ones. I could have grabbed this one. If I wanted a wider frame, I could have grabbed these 2. Now look how wide my frame's going to be. So there's a difference. But now, look at that. Isn't that awesome? I know, I just entertain myself all the time. But now I have a shaker card. I can do whatever I want with this. I can put this on the front of a card. I can put this on the inside of the card. I can make a tag out of it. But isn't that awesome? Any 2 dies, you can also use our dotted dies, but any 2 dies you can use this. Now, let's look at some of our samples because they're really fun too. Now I have powder everywhere. Okay, here's a cute little circle. And you can see those fun dots. They just add, these are made into tags. Actually, it's so funny. I made, Ken and I went to my future grandchildren's cousin's first birthday party, and I made some for her little birthday tag. I made a little tag similar to this, not with cactus on it, but I used the hearts, and I graduated that, and I just put a little to and a from, so they're really easy. Now here's another circle one. Oh, here's one with the hearts. See, it just adds something different, adds a little bit more. Here's the rectangles. Here's the circles. You can see the circles hiding back there. Ooh, here's a perfect example of the rectangles. So you can see how much it just adds to the card. Oh, and here is a beautiful heart one. It even comes with the drop-in words, love you. And then the rectangle one comes with the drop-in words, thanks. And the star one comes with the drop-in words, shine bright. Just an extra little oomph. Now, here's the cute little hearts, and it does come with that little extra border. Oh, and here, oh, look how cute this is. Isn't that gorgeous? So, club members, of course you get the club discount on these products. If you're not in the club, you are missing out because we have even more exciting benefits for all of our club members, which we're really excited about. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.